My name is Lena and I'm a person in long-term recovery. What that means to me is I have not used drugs or alcohol since August of 2014. It also means that I get to live a fulfilling life. I'm presenting to you collegiate recovery as a pathway to recovery. What is collegiate recovery? It's college recovery. It's not something that's just available to students who are struggling or are actively in recovery on a college campus. It's available to those who are struggling or actively in recovery and who don't know that education is a possibility for them. There is support for individuals just like me who feel hopeless and uncomfortable and are full of pain. I found that I could have support as I sought out education as a person fighting to stay in recovery. I was fighting for my life. Not only did I connect with students who understood me, I connected with staff and faculty that believed in me. They thought I had something to offer the world, and that empowered me in a whole new way. Being part of the university introduced me to activism for recovery, and it introduced me to leaders within the recovery community. It made me feel part of something great and valuable. When you think of collegiate recovery, it's a system within a university or college that provides support for students struggling or who are actively in recovery. It allows for connections between faculty, staff, and students, and it provides a safe and judgment-free space for students to connect. It introduces allies and stakeholders, resources, and advocacy to students, which in turn allows students to feel part of a community. In a world, they struggle to feel part of anything. At least that's what it was like for me. Collegiate recovery changed my life, and I'd like to share more information with you if you'd like to connect with my community group, Greater Boston Collegiate Recovery, GBCR, at greaterbostonrecovery@gmail.com, or you can find out more information about collegiate recovery with the Association of Recovery and Higher Education, ARAG. Thanks.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Alex Fidalgo. Me dijeron que hablara de mi Pathway of Recovery, mi guía de recuperación. Es mi fe. I'm faith-based. I have my own beliefs, religion. What are the basic components of my pathway? ¿Cuáles son los componentes básicos? Bueno, sería oración, estudio y meditación. Y cuando digo meditación es meditar en lo que leo en la Biblia para mí y tratar de aplicar eso en mi vida personal y cómo lo aplico para otras personas. Creo que es bien importante. Hay unos principios en los cuales yo trato de trabajar a diario. No los hago perfecto, pero me esfuerzo en trabajar en esos principios en mi vida. Que realmente pueda yo aplicarlo no solamente conmigo, con mi familia y con las personas con quien yo trato que vengo en contactos con ellos. Tú sabes cuáles son los beneficios que yo he podido y cómo me ha impactado. Me hace ser la persona que soy. Tú sabes, uno de los logros más grandes yo digo es, yo me casé en una relación donde mi esposa tenía 5 hijos y que ellos digan que yo soy su papá. Para mí eso es un logro grandísimo. Gracias que puedo hacer esto. Y nada, tratar de aplicar esos principios para ayudar a otras personas, que ellos vean que esto sí trabaja, que esto sí funciona. Pero esto es bien importante para mí. Y demostrar amor y cariño. Esos son la base del fundamento. Cómo yo puedo demostrar amor y cariño a otras personas. Y solamente eso lo puedo lograr a través de aplicar esos principios en mi vida. Bueno, gracias por todo y nos estaremos hablando en otra ocasión.
Hi, I'm Angie McDonald. I'm the running coordinator for the Boston Bulldogs Running Club in Natick. The Bulldogs Running Club was formed in 2008 by Mike Ferrillo, who is sober and a social worker in Boston. Our main running group is at the Chestnut Hill Reservoir on Saturdays at 9 a.m. And the group was formed around the premise that in addition to, getting sober, our physical wellness is equally as important. It gives people an opportunity to meet. We have chapters all over the state, different times and nights and days. And we get together and we do runs, we do walks, and we just support each other in recovery. And give each other something to do. So my story is that I got sober in my 20s, and at the time it was hard to find social things to do with friends. But I stumbled upon a great group of women who were sober and runners and triathletes. And waking up early on a Saturday or a Sunday morning was a huge motivation for me to stay sober and to stay healthy. And it got me through some of the hardest times in my 20s, and now in my 40s and pushing my 50s, I'm about to run the virtual Boston Marathon with the Boston Bulldogs tomorrow. It's a great group. I'd encourage all of you to check it out at www.bostonbulldogsrunningclub.com. And if you're in Natick on Tuesday at 6:30, come over to the Natick High Track and look me up. My name's Angie. I would love to run or walk with you. Have a great day.
Hi everyone, my name is Fotios and I'm the volunteer coordinator at the new Framingham Recovery Support Center located at 19 Concord Street, Suite 1 in Framingham. First, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in, and then I'd like to share a little bit with you about the Framingham Recovery Support Center. This wonderful member-driven center is sponsored by the Massachusetts Department of Public Health and the Bureau of Substance Addiction Services in collaboration with our host agency, the South Middlesex Opportunity Council. The Framingham Recovery Support Center is a place where community members in recovery can come together in a supportive environment that promotes recovery and wellness, along with self-care activities, development of friendships, and peer affiliations. We're one of 26 such centers in the state, helping to create reliable and consistent recovery supports for the people in our community. That being said, we are an alcohol and drug-free social environment. We support relapse prevention and recovery maintenance. We host a variety of daily meetings, recreational activities, and mind wellness groups, and we also offer recovery coaching and mentoring. We are a peer-driven and member-run recovery center. Members are peers who are actively involved in the recovery process. A member shares a willingness to be part of the Recovery Support Center community. Members actively participate in the day-to-day functions of the center. Participation at the Recovery Support Center can evolve into becoming a mentor, a volunteer, or taking on a peer leader role at the member's own pace. Now, one of the most frequently asked questions and one of the most common misconceptions is that the recovery support centers are the same as drop-in centers. This is not the case. Recovery centers offer multiple pathways to sustain productive and long-term recovery through a variety of supports that aren't generally part of drop-ins. Again, recovery support centers are created by and for the people in recovery to purposefully support and promote recovery, wellness, and recovery-related activities while developing friendship networks within the recovery community. One of our main goals here at the Recovery Support Center is member and peer engagement. And one of our main functions is to engage with peers and help ensure that the culture here at the center is one of participation and engagement. The Recovery Support Center, again, is member-led and peer-to-peer. Peer engagement and member-driven support is important. That's what we do. The center is created by and for the people with a purpose to support and promote recovery and wellness. We are looking to engage everyone who comes into this center so that we can help create a safe place for people in recovery. Check us out on Facebook by searching for the Framingham Recovery Center. Take a look at our calendar of events, sign up for a group, take the virtual tour, stay connected. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Jared Owen. I'm a man in recovery, and I have practiced Recovery DHARMA, which is a peer-led mutual aid organization that believes in using Buddhist practices and principles to heal the suffering caused by addiction. And that's addiction to substances as well as process addictions. The idea behind Dharma recovery is that craving is the cause of suffering, and it can be overcome by using certain principles and practices, one of the biggest of which is meditation. The meetings consist of introductions. You don't have to introduce yourself as an addict or identify in any other way. Then there is a 20-minute guided meditation on a subject like compassion or loving kindness. Then usually there is a 20-minute reading on a subject or part of the Recovery Dharma text, and followed by a 20-minute open discussion. And there's no chanting, there's no hugging. It's a very loosely structured group, but everyone there has some kind of addiction, and they are all there to support one another. So if you're interested in more information about Recovery Dharma, their website is recoverydharma.org. Dharma is spelled DHARMA. That's recoverydharma.org. Their literature is free. You can download it there, and you can find information about meetings. Again, my name's Jared. Thank you to Scotty. Recovery's real.
Hello, how you doing? My name is John Forts. I'm a person in long-term recovery, and what this means to me is I have not used any alcoholic drugs for going on 14 years, and because of this, I am able to share this brief story with you. I am an individual that at 5 years into my recovery, I learned the importance and the value of recovery and advocacy while at an areas meeting with more. That consisted of someone coming down from Boston and talking about the importance about advocating, especially at a legislator's level, using our voices as individuals in recovery. When this person shared that with us, the group, for some reason that hit me in the heart in a special way that I can't explain. From that point forward, I've learned the value and the importance of using my voice to advocate for those that don't have a voice. And since then, I've been using my story and my passion and my experience, strength, and hope to help others. There are multiple ways of recovery. I pray that you find one that works for you. I am one that has also found it through the pathway of recovery and advocacy by using my voice to educate others. Thank you and have a good day.
What I'm going to say is I am part of a 12-step fellowship. It doesn't matter, either or. I started out with one, moved to another. It doesn't really matter, either or. It served what I needed, and it still does. 24 years later, when I did come into the fellowship, that was pretty much all that there was to offer. I realize now that there's so many other pathways, but the time that I came around, there was pretty much just abstinence or the 12-step fellowship. But that worked for me, when I came around, what the 12-step fellowship did for me is I was pretty much fearful of everything around me. I was shaking in my boots. It taught me how to socialize with people. I didn't jump into the middle of the 12-step program, and this is just for me. It took me a little while for me to work my way up to the front, but it did keep me occupied, and it did teach me some principles to live by, because when I came into the fellowship, I had no principles I was living by. I was just existing. And what the fellowship did teach me was how to live, how to experience life, how to spiritually grow. And 24 years later, I continue to grow. I do have principles. I've been able to establish myself in life, and I am so grateful for the principles and the 12-step fellowship. It has been able to teach me to be open-minded to other pathways and to respect other people's pathways and to respect other people's way of life. When I was out there, using and abusing, substances, I didn't care about you. I didn't care about your life. I didn't care about anything except what I wanted to do, except what I needed to do. So, that's what the 12 steps and the 12-step fellowships have done for me.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kyle. I'm an alcoholic, and secular AA is part of my pathway to recovery. The first time I ever came to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, I felt like I was all alone. As a non-believer, I found it difficult to engage in the meetings when they started and ended with prayer, and the word God was mentioned very frequently. A lot of people in traditional AA meetings will say things like, fake it till you make it, but that was not working for me because I do not believe in God. It wasn't until after COVID-19 hit and forced many of these AA meetings to go online that I discovered that there's an entire community of like-minded alcoholics like myself in secular AA. So secular AA, in a lot of ways, has saved my life and has really helped me to stay sober without forcing me to believe in something that I don't believe in. So if you're an atheist, an agnostic, free thinker, or just generally a non-religious person and you're trying to get sober, secular AA might help. So I'm going to give you a website that you can go to find a list of meetings. There are almost 200 secular AA meetings on this list that meet all over the country, all over the world. So to find the list, if you visit omagod.org, that's omagod.org, you can find a list of meetings that are all secular. So omagod.org, click on more meetings, and this will take you to an enormous spreadsheet that is being updated constantly with all secular Alcoholics Anonymous meetings. I hope this helps, and I hope that you can find relief in knowing that you're not alone as a free thinker, atheist, agnostic in Alcoholics Anonymous. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Louray, and I am a woman in long-term recovery. And a very good friend of mine has asked me to speak to you tonight about my path towards recovery. First thing I'd like to make very clear is that I didn't have just one. I have utilized several paths. Listen, I've been on the highways and the byways, the sidewalks, the paths, the lanes. I sought whatever was available and whatever appealed to me at the time. Today I want to highlight medicaid-assisted recovery. Some call it medicaid-assisted treatment, methadone clinics, Suboxone, what have you. I have utilized that as well in my quest towards recovery. And I want you to know that it is not this odd phenomenon out there, in the cosmos somewhere. It is available to you now, today. It is easily accessible. Once you begin to investigate and decide which way you would like to focus your recovery on, you can talk to your doctor, you can talk to a recovery coach such as myself. You can find a recovery center in your area and go in and ask for some information. You can Google it. There are several different ways that you could find information on Medicaid-assisted recovery. All that I encourage you to do is to try. It is a good way to get your recovery mojo started. You begin to get a schedule again. You begin to be responsible with your time because you have to show up on time. You have to go at a certain time, keep your appointments. And one thing that's real encouraging to know is that as long as you stay within the guidelines of whatever program you choose, eventually you can get what they refer to as take-homes. So you can bring your medication home and you don't have to go after a while every day. You can continue your life. Choose something.
Hi everyone, I'm Nanette, and I'm a grateful woman in long-term recovery. I've just been asked to share a little bit about what my pathway for recovery is. The pathway for recovery that I've chosen is the 12-step program in AA. I chose this program as a pathway for my recovery because it's extremely strong as far as community. I've met a lot of nice people. There's a lot of work that you do. You go to meetings. You can go to meetings online or in person. There's some in-person ones now. I have just made a lot of good friendships and relationships, but you also work with a sponsor. If you really want to do the work, you work with a sponsor, and that has helped me tremendously because I was just going to meetings for a long time, and now I'm finally working with a sponsor. So the 12-step program is basically just a new way of life, a new way of living, and getting out a lot of past things and finding a way to make amends with people and fixing things that need to be fixed, but in a gentle and caring way. You get such love and connection with the people in these meetings, and I've met a lot of nice people, and my sponsor is wonderful, and I go to a meeting, sometimes 2 a day, and I always have something to do with my recovery going on in every single day of my life. So my pathway to recovery is that 12-step program. I enjoy it. It's not just like because I have to do it now. I want to do it, and I enjoy doing it, and I will do it for the rest of my life. It's something that I'm connected to, and it's a community, and it's really amazing. So it's helped me with a lot of things in my life, and it's helped me to grow and become the woman that I'm supposed to be, and still growing, and I'm still learning, and it's like I said, it's gonna happen. I mean, it's gonna continue for the rest of my life, I hope, for the learning part. But so that's my pathway to recovery, the 12-step program in Alcoholics Anonymous, and I don't know. That's all I have for today, and I hope everyone is doing well and staying safe and staying sober, and much love.
Boa noite, o meu nome é Paulo e eu sou uma pessoa em recuperação. Recuperação, o que quer dizer isso? Ora, para mim, faz agora 13 anos que não uso álcool ou outras drogas para mudar os meus sentimentos pelo dia. Felizmente encontrei novos caminhos para apoiar a minha saúde física, mental e espiritual. E então, caminhos. Há muitos caminhos de recuperação. Depende das necessidades e as habilidades e a cultura do indivíduo. Claro, nós somos todos indivíduos e todos temos diferentes necessidades e apoios e habilidades. E então, para mim, comecei num meio dos 12 passos, que é um grupo de apoio bastante comum, que já milhões de pessoas têm usado desde 1935, quando na iniciação, e depois busquei apoio terapêutico. Tive vários anos a trabalhar, a enfocar na minha saúde mental. Eu regressei à escola e tive aprendizagens novas e aprendi a usar as habilidades que eu tinha de antes em novas maneiras no dia 2. E ao fim, o uso de pares, o que nós chamamos peers, apoio de outra pessoa que tem a experiência vivida de adição ou de problemas de saúde mental e que hoje está em recuperação e tem também encontrado novos caminhos para superar os seus desafios. E então, falem com outros, identifiquem, não se comparem e andem para a frente, que a recuperação é verdade. A recuperação existe.
Hi, I'm Nikki, and this is Stacy and Angus, and we all work at SMOC as recovery coaches. We work with anyone who's interested in recovery, no matter what recovery stage they're in, or regardless of whether they're in recovery or not, and help them explore and maintain their own unique recovery landscape.
I'm Angus, and my recovery support pathway is through AA and 12 Steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, Spirituality, and meditation, and working with others. Being an active member of Alcoholics Anonymous it helps me, feel like I belong to a fellowship of people that are focused on the same things that I am. And working the 12 steps of the program keeps me centered, keeps me accountable for my actions to myself and to others. And with the meditation and spirituality, keeps me grounded and in tune to things that are going on, and helps me to be able to respond to people in situations rather than react. It's open to anybody, it's free, it's a great program.
Hi, my name's Stacy, and my pathway to sobriety was a holistic approach through emotional, physical, and mental well-being. And I maintain my sobriety by exercising, eating well, practicing mindfulness, learning about myself, and having many hobbies such as camping, hiking, boating, and gardening.
I'm Nikki, and my recovery pathway was yoga, and still is yoga and meditation. Through meditation, I'm more connected to myself and others. It keeps me grateful and strengthens my intuition to stay my truest self, brings me clarity and peace, and raises my vibrations. It can be found online, free right now, through social media and other apps, or it can be found through in person through various gyms or studios, as well as meetup.org has free meetups where you can meet and do meditation together, as well as free meditation on YouTube, as well as spiritual bookstores that host a fee-based meditation group.
Hi, my name is Vivian Nunes, and I'm a CPS, a COPS, and a recovery coach. And today I'm going to share with you my preferred pathway to recovery. It's named WRAP, Wellness Recovery Action Plan. And the beauty of the WRAP in my life is that it's based on 5 key concepts: hope, personal responsibility, education, self-advocacy, and support. One of the core elements of the WRAP is that it helps me design a picture of wellness. And the more I'm connected with my picture of wellness, the easier it will become for me to create practical, simple steps to remain in that picture of wellness so I can find wholeness within my recovery. I would like to invite all of you to join me in the journey, in the adventure of creating a WRAP. So you can also be connected with your own picture of wellness and either use this as your primary pathway or add it to the pathways that you're currently using to find true wellness within your recovery and live the life that you're intended to live and not the life that circumstances brought us to live. Thank you for the opportunity to let me share my pathway with all of you, and I'm looking forward for a further connection. Thank you.
Me anjo, Yatebi, Shikidu, Shikistu, Shidine, Shidoji, Serena, Tateo Mahitu. I said, hello, good morning, family, friends, relations. My name is Serena, Windy City. I'm Chiricahua, Apache, and Taino, and I'm here to tell you about my Louray story. I started my recovery journey 327 days ago, and Louray found me on my 6th month to the day. It came across my Facebook feed, and I never heard about the program before, but I couldn't get enough. See, I was in NA at the time, my early recovery, and I had a sponsor. And during that time, I felt as though something was missing. When Louray came across my Facebook feed, and I read the synopsis of what it was about, I had to get more. So I spent over $200 in buying books, literature, workbooks, and I went gung-ho. And Louray has changed my life. Since then, I have gone to special classes and was able to get a certification in their curriculum, the 12 steps in Medicine Rio for women, a facilitator, recovery relapse coach, currently taking my peer-recovery support specialist training in Rhode Island. And I never knew that I'd be on this route, but Louray put me here, the creator did. And I'm on the red road. I'm here to tell you, it works if you work it. So Louray.com, whitebison.com, or Koyas Publishing, you can get the literature. They've changed my life. They can change yours too.
I'm Michael. I'm an alcoholic and an addict. I'm the adult child of a dry drunk father. I'm the brother of an active alcoholic, and most importantly, I'm the father of a recovering IV heroin addict. Found that out about 11 years ago, that she was addicted to narcotics, and I was completely lost. I didn't know I had my own problems. I didn't know that until I got brought to an AA meeting by a friend. But I found out about Naranon. There's a group in Belmont that I became affiliated with for a very long time, and I was a very active member for a long time. That was much more of a support group as opposed to a 12-step program. I shouldn't say that. They do give credence to the 12 steps, but it's not very spiritual in nature. A support group, I mean, they talk about their own qualifiers, they talk about the qualifiers programs, and they do talk about the success and failures of those programs. But most importantly, what I learned in that particular meeting was the meeting of the 3 C's. I did not cause it, I can't control it, and I can't cure it. I also found out about the concept and learned about what detached with love means. So it was a very important group to me. They meet in Belmont only on Monday nights. Most of the Naranon meetings around only meet on one night a week. There are groups in Belmont, Worcester, Springfield, Cambridge, and a few on the Cape. They also have an international organization with lots of virtual meetings internationally and worldwide. So the way to contact any of these groups and get the virtual meetings is the top one, which is naranon.org with a dash between nar and anon. That's the international organization with virtual lists. The website below is for the local meetings. That's Naranon CTMA, Connecticut, Mass. Again, NaranoncTMA.org. And I hope that you can find what you need if you have family members who are narcotic addicts. Very powerful program, and it's done me a lot of good as well as my family.
My name is Kenny Pina, and I am a spoken word artist. A lot of my pieces are addiction and recovery based. For me, I use it as a tool, as something more to the 12-step fellowship I go to, the step work that I do, but it's something that I can address how I'm feeling instantly right there. Case in point, the poem I'm going to perform is called You Don't Look Like an Addict, and the way that came about was I work at a super center, and we have a police detail there, and we got called for a code white, which is medical emergency to the front men's bathroom. I ran up there and I found that it was a gentleman that had OD'd. The cop came, we Narcaned him, we called an ambulance, and afterwards the police officer and myself were talking, and he's like, yeah, these people have no hope, and I'm talking to him, I'm like, you do know that I'm an addict, right? And he's like, you? No. I'm like, yeah. He's like, you don't look like an addict. I'm like, yeah, because you see me 2 years clean. Like, but if you would have checked me out 3 years ago, you would have definitely had those same choice words to me. And we opened up a dialect and we started talking about it. And we're still friends to this day. And I really do think that I've helped change that perspective, because he's seen who I am and how I've changed. And that you can't really tell what an addict looks like. So here's my poem, You Don't Look Like an Addict. They say the funniest people are the saddest clowns. Maybe that's why I am the way that I am. Hiding behind a cliche Freudian mask to hide you from all the ugliness that lies beneath it. Sorta like Michael Myers, but instead of wanting to kill my family, only wanting to kill myself. I've hid behind the mask for so long that my beard grows through it. At times I fool myself and even start to believe it's the real me. And then, inevitably, somebody says that statement that fills me with a rage that makes me want to introduce them to the nearest wall. You don't look like an addict, which begs the question, what does an addict look like? Because if you're picturing me with a loaded syringe about to inject my vein like a snake injects its prey with venom, then I've never fit your definition of an addict. But tell that to my mother. My mother that took me to every detox and would cry hysterically as I walked away because she didn't know if I would get it or if I would die. Tell that to my father that watched me scratch myself with knives because I was crawling out of my skin and would do anything to shed myself of it. Tell that to my siblings that watch someone they hate try to kill someone they love. Now imagine that I am both those people. Tell that to my nieces and nephew that watch me at every family function nodding off. The oldest one protecting the younger ones by saying, Uncle Kenny's just tired. Let him sleep. Her innocence stolen from her eyes because she knows that there's something more, but is too young to put two and two together. Tell that to me. Tell me that I don't look like an addict, that waking up every morning throwing up this brown bile that feels like acid as it climbs up your throat, that the only release is the side of a pissy toilet. The bathroom floor feels like heaven compared to the hell that my body's going through. So excuse me if I don't accept your backhanded compliment. It's easy to see a diamond in a jewelry store and not realize that it was mine in a cave. What you see is hope. What I've hoped for since April 15th of 2015. That's 1,996 days, doing one day 1,996 times. How there are days I still wake up after having dreams so vivid that I can taste the drip of Oxycontin in the back of my tongue. And as the sun rays creep through the blinds and reach me, hope embraces me in its arms again like a mother embraces this child that just had a nightmare and tells me it's okay. It was just a dream. The drugs can't hurt you no more. You don't look like an addict, you're wrong. I am one of the tens of millions of faces of the heroin epidemic. Thank you.